Hey everybody, Paul here, and I want to tell you a little story about my brush with greatness when it comes to equipment. So stay tuned, I think you'll find this very interesting. So quite a few years ago, I was working at Glendenning one day, and I get a call from Andy out at the Willows, who was running the Willows at that point. And he says, I've got a guy here that wants to come somewhere for lunch. It says he's in the golf business. So I ask him what his name is. Andy goes back and asks him, and he says his name is Bob Vokey. So of course, I'm over the moon. Bob Vokey's in the neighborhood, going to come and have lunch. So he comes and has lunch and chats a little bit. When he's leaving, he asks, give me your specs, and when I get back to my workshop, I will hand grind you out something really personal and unique. I was amazed. So I said, yes, here's what I like. Here's how I like the wedges to sit. Here's how I grind, sent to my specs. And about 2 weeks later, I get these come in a box from FedEx. These were prototypes with grinds that were not yet completely approved by the USGA. They were being tested by Tour Pros, and each wedge is a unique one. It doesn't even have the regular Titleist stampings. Came with my initials on them, and my grip in the shaft and everything that I like. So over the moon. Anyway, I wore these out. There's no grooves left on them at all. Fast forward a few years, I'm down in Callaway doing some training, and I'm at the Callaway Training Center, and I'm standing there with these wedges in my bag, and a guy comes up to me and starts talking to me and looks in my bag and says, those are not regular standard wedges. Where did you get those? So I tell him my story, and he's really excited to listen to my story, and we're gauging, we're going back and forth. He tells me what a great story. Then he introduces himself as Roger Cleveland of Cleveland Wedges, now Callaway Wedges. So Roger is the chief designer for all wedges at Callaway. So I feel really foolish, and I say, I feel like a complete moron here now talking to you about my Vokey wedges. Anyway, he says, no, that's a great story. I'm glad you told to me. I love to hear things like that. So fast forward again another few years. I'm in California again at Callaway for some more training. I'm on the range. I see Roger Cleveland there. I go over and introduce myself again, and I say, you may not remember, but here's a quick little story. And he remembered the story. He remembered me then. And he said, it's still a great story. He said, however, how would you like to hang out here on the range when they go for lunch, and I will give you a clinic on wedges so you can see what my wedges do. I am over the moon at this point. I'm hanging out on the range with Roger Cleveland and nobody else, just the two of us. He's showing me these little pitch shots and how to pinch the ball and how to flop and how to do this, how to set the wedges. I mean, just phenomenal. So then we take a couple of shag bags, and me and him go out and walk around the range, picking up the balls, chatting about stuff as we're doing it, come back with the shag bags, empty them out, continue on, hitting these little shots, him showing me how to put my hands and where to place the ball and how to use the bounce of the club and all these things. So, you know, that's my brush with greatness. Bob Vokey and Roger Cleveland, both of them hands into my bag in my wedges. And if you've got a better story, I would love to hear it. Thanks for listening.